Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We got some big news. You've probably actually heard about it. I woke up to this information and I had a smile on my face. Pam Bondi has been fired. She is essentially out of the job. Now, granted, Trump, when he announced it on his stupid little Truth Social, he worded it differently. So his Republicans and his believers will go like, "Oh, well, she wasn't fired. She was just moved to a different job." That's exactly how he worded the firing of Kristi Noem, except she was again fired because why would she be moved to a different job, a different project, if she was supposedly doing a good job? Because she was fired because she did a shitty job. Freaking Chrissy Nome did a shitty job. She was terrible, and Pam Bondi did another terrible job, so she was fired as well. Now, one reason why Sue Trump fired her is because she didn't handle the Epstein things very well, and it made him look more guilty. Which, yeah, I mean, he is guilty. And if there's some kind of random scenario that he's actually innocent, and we're all wrong about him, at least people who believe he's on the Epstein list, and including me, and we're all wrong about him, that doesn't make him a good person. He's still a shitty person. He's still a shitty president. But he's 100% on the list. But back to the main topic is Pam Bondi has been removed from her job as U.S. Attorney General. And I believe his personal attorney, his lawyer or something, not his lawyer. I forgot who's going to take his job. Actually, let me check that real quick. Some guy named Todd Blanchie, I think is his name, is replacing her. So again, she is gone. I know Trump will use the word move to a different job or move to a different project or whatever. It's the exact same term he used for getting rid of Kristi Noem, which again, if Kristi Noem and Pam Bondi were supposedly doing such a great job, why would you get rid of them? Why would you replace them? It's the answer. They sucked. Trump knows it. Trump knows Pam Bondi made him look more guilty, and he got rid of her to try to save his own ass. Now, he's still guilty. He's still guilty, 100%. Most likely. Um, and with the thing with Christine O being fired, she was just bad at her job, and under her leadership, 2 Americans were killed. I mean, not even that, probably more, because again, ICE constantly kidnaps people, locks them up in their detention facilities, and people die in those places. There's legitimate people dying in those places, and not many people talk about that much. At least not Republicans, because they don't care about it, because they don't really care about it as long as the illegals are getting out of the country. But nevertheless, is Pam Bondi is fired for a reason. This is like a situation where, like, if the Patriots during their prime would put Jimmy Garoppolo ahead of Tom Brady in an important game against like the Chiefs or something, or against the Broncos when they were still good, something like that, or like any contending team in the AFC. This isn't like a Week 17 throwaway game against the Jets where you can let Tom Brady rest because you already clinched the number one seed. No, this is like an important game. If you win, I don't know, you clinch the number one seed or something against a contending team. Point being, another with the football comparison is you wouldn't get rid of someone. You wouldn't fire somebody if they're supposedly doing a good job. That just shows that Pam Bondi was terrible at her job. Chrissy Noel was terrible at her job. I wish I made a video on that too, to be honest, on that situation, but it's a little too late now. We will include it at least. Is again, Pam Bondi, she was awful at her job. She was a terrible attorney general. She was awful. She handled the whole Epstein stuff terribly and just glazed Trump and said he was innocent and did nothing wrong. It was basically blah, 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 blah. Trump is innocent. Blah, 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 blah. Wouldn't even look at the victims behind her, by the way. She wouldn't even bother to look at them because she just will not betray Trump. That loyalty runs deep. At least he has loyalty in his party, but unbelievable, man. Again, back to the whole thing. It's just like with her being fired, we might see a better version when they talk about Epstein. I'm not sure. Is there another event coming up with the Epstein stuff? I actually have no idea. But if they ever do talk about it again in a showing like that, I guess it might be a little handled a little bit better. But again, with the guy, I'm pretty sure this guy personally works for Trump, so it's probably going to be the same thing. And they're probably going to say that notion that, oh, well, Trump takes pictures with everybody, so it makes him innocent. That's essentially like saying Hitler took pictures with people, and that makes him innocent for what he did in World War II. That's a very... Because I'm not sure exactly who said it. It was either Pam Bondi or Trump himself saying that he takes pictures with a lot of people. I'm pretty sure it was actually Trump. He was basically saying, I take pictures with a lot of people. Just because I have a few pictures with Epstein doesn't mean I did anything on the island. Well, and that's a very weird... Again, that's like saying Hitler took pictures with people and that makes him innocent. It doesn't. Just because Trump took pictures with Epstein, it claims he takes pictures with everybody. Doesn't make him innocent. It doesn't. This whole thing is just stupid. Well, not her being fired. It's good. It's just the whole thing with the Epstein stuff is stupid. The fact that it was just so hard to get it out. But back to the main conversation is that with Pam Bondi gone, again, we might see a better version of it. But as I just said, this guy, I think, personally works for Trump, so I doubt it's going to be any different. Going forward, at least she's gone. She was terrible at her job, and she didn't do anything. Chrissy No was also bad at her job, but again, it's great to see them both gone. Now, if only Trump would get rid of himself and his entire administration, that'd be nice. Like, imagine Trump just like, I'm gonna head out. That'd be nice. But next person who should definitely be fired, Caroline Levitt or whatever her name is. She's terrible. I hate her so much. She's like, well, no, she's a top tier Trump glazer. I don't think he'd fire her. I think Trump, he has an ego thing, and he gets like a little tickle in his body when people glaze him. So when his supporters and his own cabinet and people around him, when they glaze him, he gets a little tickle in his body, and it feels nice for him. He probably gets a little high out of it, and that's why he loves to glaze so much, and that's why everyone glazes him so much. He goes like, "Please glaze me, worship me," because his supporters practically do worship him. The way they act towards him is absolutely absurd. Anyways, though, Pam Bondi's gone. Bye bye, bozo. Bye bye. Everyone hate. I'm so glad. I think a lot of people just did not like her. Even Republicans didn't like her. But anyways, that'll wrap it up for today's video. I know today was a bit of a shorter one. Honestly, kind of a pointless video. I didn't have to make it, but I chose to. This video is dropping alongside of another video talking about Trump wanting to leave NATO. Go ahead and watch that. I think I've never actually linked a video to another video, so I'll try doing it. If I don't, though, you can just find it on my channel. And then another video dropping probably sometime this week. I know I've mentioned it like a dozen times. The Resident Evil remake videos. I'm going to be talking about what game should get a remake, in my opinion. Granted, I think I'm just going to go over a very common opinion, so I'm going to go over... I'm not going to... Well, I can talk about it. I think the original one really... Like, I know people will say, oh, it got a remake in 2002. Like, yeah, in 2002. That's a long, long time ago. Long, long time ago. The original Resident Evil deserves a RE Engine remake. It really does. Anyways, back to the main topic. We'll talk more about that in that video when I finally make it. I know I mentioned it at the end of like my most recent videos, and I'm sorry. It's coming. It's coming. I haven't made it yet, but it's coming. Pam Bondi's out. Good news. Very good news. Mark, this is good news. Pam Bondi is fired. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video, and have a great rest of your day.